Welcome back to Full Cup Astrology. I'm Jen Keen, and this is a video all about the Aquarius new moon, but really this is about relationship pressure. This is about the constriction that a lot of people have been feeling leading up to this moon about relationships, finances, pleasure. This is about facing our fears around connection and humanitarian projects. This is about facing our fears around growth and change and how we are connected to the greater good. There has been an intensity of transformation leading up to this new moon. I am going to talk about all of this energy as a whole in the general overview, and that's going to come first. That is where you're going to get a broader understanding of what has been going on, and this energy is applicable to everyone. Then I'm going to get into the sign by sign and talk about how this applies to your sun, moon, or rising sign. You can blend all three to get a better perspective. This new moon in Aquarius is happening on January 29th at 4:36 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. 9.51 degrees Aquarius. It's not close enough to Pluto, but there is some overlapping energy. The sun and moon just finished a conjunction with Pluto at the time of this new moon. Mercury as well. So we've had a lot of Pluto activation on the way to this 9.51 degree point. It is the Pluto activation that is bringing up fear and control and power struggles, and in Aquarius, it can feel like this electric agitation. The thing that we were worst worried was going to happen did happen, and the level of stress can peak. And I'm not saying that there are terrible things happening for everyone, but there is this type of energy that the intensity is electrifying, it's nerve shaking, and we cannot not pay attention. It is the type of energy where we have to just stop and take a deep breath and think about how we can avoid feeling like that again in the future, how we can release the feeling of agitation and fear and just whatever intense emotion is pouring over. With Pluto, it is about release. It is an opportunity to purge. And when we go through these more intense moments of our lives, we feel this sigh of relief afterwards. I once said that a Pluto activation is like that really hard, deep belly cry that you have, and it feels awful going through it, being hunched over on the floor and hardly being able to breathe. But when that's all over, you feel so much better, and the problem that you were facing that felt ginormous starts to feel teeny tiny again. That is the benefit of these cycles. That is the benefit of some of the frustration and pain that we go through. But it is also to pay attention to what really matters to us and rebuild our values. Leading up to this new moon, Venus has also been very active in Pisces. Venus is exalted, which means that Venusian things like beauty, romance, pleasure, love, and money, these things have been on high in some way in our life. There's a lot of energy around it, hopefully bringing in good things. But because Venus is now between Saturn and Neptune, this exalted Venus, which is usually in its best heightened state, is getting the tough lessons from Saturn of restriction and scrutiny and discipline and simplify and slow things down and do things really right this time. Neptune still wants that dreamlike fantasy, especially in Pisces. Neptune wants to create that fantasy world with Venus where everything is perfection and idyllic. Saturn's here to remind us that it just is not always that way. Or maybe it can be a blend of both. Maybe with Venus close to the North Node, which is our soul's direction, our fated soul's direction, that just maybe we can have a dose of fantasy, a dose of dreams turning into reality, and also realizing that it takes a slow process sometimes to get there, and that there is hard work involved. And the hard work means taking our time. But Saturn's hard work, it can be slow and grueling, but it is a solid foundation. It is what creates the opportunity for Neptune to come in and say, hey, we have a solid foundation. Now let's create this dreamlike pleasure that we've always wanted. Let's have both. This video is really about is the new moon opportunity in Aquarius. Saturn represents the old next to Venus, and Aquarius energy, where this new moon is brand new opportunities. It is taking what worked in the past and moving that into the future, but making the future something different. Relationships are always evolving. So are our values, which is what Venus represents, our money, our beauty. Fashion trends come and go faster than relationships sometimes. That could be a tight race. This moon and Jupiter are in lovely trine conversation. Jupiter is still retrograde, but it is about to turn direct in February, and Jupiter is going to be what amplifies, enhances, and heals the energy around this moon. So whatever you do start planting the seeds for, Jupiter is here to expand that and make it something really big. Once Jupiter is direct in February and we get into the next full moon cycle, those are times when you might start to see more of what you're planting right now get off the ground. Aquarius is an energy where freedom and the ability to be unique and different and do our own thing is really important. Because the Venus topics are so high, I think when it comes to money, love, and beauty, these are going to be some of the themes that this new moon is bringing. That we're breaking through barriers of fear with what's happened with the activations through Pluto. And we now have this moment where we feel like we can really be ourselves. And we have learned a lot along the way to both be ourselves and inclusive of other people. Aquarius can be known in its more challenging energy to be aloof or detached, or though it is the sign of humanitarian work and networks and connection, there's this cold quality to it. It used to be ruled by Saturn. And because it is more concerned with the freedom and unique expression of self, it does not want to be merged in with a group or blended in with another person or having expectations set on them. We're going to start moving through some of those internal battles of feeling like we have expectations set on us, but at the same time, we do have the tools to express well with other people and make things work for everyone in some way. It's about both doing what really matters to us and having the freedom for that. Mercury is in a more challenged position as it gets closer to the sun and moves past the sun. We might face situations where what we want to say and what we feel inside in an energetic form is not as easy to express and get out to others. But this is also the opportunity. So it is when, in hindsight, we feel like we did not fully express what we meant, that we start to go back over how we do express ourselves and how it's received by other people, then refine and reform and have something better to put out there, or have an easier time next time. At the moment of this new moon, with Venus between Neptune and Saturn, this is also an energy where we might have to work harder to see through illusion in relationships and in art and beauty. This is in Pisces, so this applies to videos and AI content online because it is video and photo material, which is under the ruling of Pisces. This is a time where it's helpful to pay extra close attention to topics of money and relationships and beauty, and really make sure that you are getting an internal intuitive sense for yourself of what is right and what might be an illusion or a facade. It is frustrations around these illusions and facades that we feel deceived by, that we feel like we've learned tough lessons from, that could be the fuel that stirs a new beginning in Aquarius, where we look at the internet in a different way. We look at humanity in a different way, and we then integrate ourselves with society in a way that is different than what we did before. My hope is that the struggles and toils give us more opportunity to nurture ourselves and maybe put into perspective for ourselves what is worth losing our energy to and what isn't. Thank you so much for being here, watching, liking, subscribing. Do hit that notification bell if you want to see when I upload videos. They can be sporadic, but I always do upload a new moon and full moon every month. If you are liking this new moon report, I have a PDF write-up for each sign for all of 2025, and they're only $29.95 Canadian of the new moons and full moons for the entire year, as well as Mercury transits. Now, let's get into your sign. Hi, Leo. This is a brand new beginning when it comes to relationships, partnerships of all kinds, those people who are most important to you in this life. This is people that you have a contractual relationship with. This is marriage partners. This is a bigger journey that you are going through with Pluto. And to get more information on that part, I will link my Pluto and Aquarius video below if you haven't seen that one yet. It'll give you more information about how big this Pluto journey really is. This new moon is going to be a piece and a layer of that story, and this whole time period. And the weeks leading up to this new moon are a big part of what is going to unfold for you as this Pluto in Aquarius story goes on. But for today, there is important stuff connected to partnerships, but I really think that there's this activity with Venus is significant for you in the 8th house. That means that the new beginning that's happening in relationships, this is more than just a new beginning in that part of your life. This is about your psychological transformation. This is about sudden reversals, sudden changes. This is about money, how other people support you. This could be taxes and other payouts and debts. There is a lot that is covered in the 8th house, and it also has a lot to do with intimacy. It is a type of intimacy that is a deep psychological bond and connection that not on the surface. It is a time when you're going to be going into your own psyche and that of another person, and it might be the journey with another person that helps you understand your own psychology better, helps you understand what are some of the motivations that of protection that are behind the struggles that you face in this life. The 8th house is shadow work. The 8th house is when we look at our shadow and we think that it is somebody else, but in actuality, it is that part of us that we are walking away from, that is in the background, that we typically don't see. This is a time when relationships, money, and topics around money and beauty and how you take care of yourself, these can all come up and be part of the situations that make you look deeper at what's going on for yourself. When you go through that process, whether it's just for yourself or with yourself and your partner or people that are significant in your life, it helps enrich those relationships and bring those to a new level. And that is what I think is playing out with this new moon. So if you have been feeling some tension and squeezing from Venus and Saturn and Pluto and the Sun, know that it is helping clean out the closet, as we say sometimes. And that means it's a purge and release and a transformation of deep waters in your life. The 8th house is also a place of trauma and where the psyche gets damaged. If there are parts of that in your life that you are ignoring or repressing, and unknowingly, it's not anyone, it's just how we're built as humans. But this is an opportunity to work through some of that and create a life that feels, especially with regard to partnership, this is an opportunity to create a life that feels more soothing, less maybe electric, because it is an Aquarius and you are going to always have a flavor of that. But it's not going to be the challenging, electrifying, anxious energy that Aquarius can present with. You'll have the more enjoyable flow of energy that is more creative and innovative and thinking of new things. If the process leading up to this new moon has been challenging, know that you are going to feel some release and relief as this new moon cycle unfolds. You have Mercury in your 7th house of partnerships here too. This is an energy that is great for you for having more conversations with people that are significant in your life. This is a time when it could be other people around you that are communicating in ways that make you look at things that are different and new and that you haven't looked at before. And it looks like friendships and networks because Jupiter is in this lovely angle from your 11th house. So this is wonderful supportive energy from your friends. And even if what you've been facing with money and love and self-reflection has its challenges, it looks like your networks are a saving grace. They are healing. It is community and people around you that really have an opportunity for a brand new start. So if a new community is coming into your life right now, this is something that could be contractual, or it could be something that has some lasting potential and is really meaningful for you, for your relationships, but also just for feeling supported and connected to the world. Thank you so much for being here, Leo. I hope you have a wonderful new moon. If you liked this video and you would like to look at the year ahead for new moons and full moons, I have PDFs for each sign. They are $29.95, and I will leave the link in the description below for you to check that out. I'll see you next time. Hi, Virgo. This Aquarius new moon is happening in your 6th house. So this is a time where health and routine, your daily habits, work, the tasks that you do every day, the things that you do to serve the world, the things that you do to serve your life and to get things moving. This is your typical house as a Virgo, rules the 6th house. But with Aquarius here and Pluto and all of this intense energy, this is a time where situations are going to be showing up that completely transform how you get things done and what you do on a day-to-day basis. And that can have a big effect on your health. Something is probably showing up that is showing you that your routine either is or isn't working for you. You'll be able to see where the fine-tuning is in getting that much better at 6th house topics, which you are already amazing at. The Pluto energy here, you could be facing fears around work. Mercury and Pluto conjunction that has happened right before this moon. Mercury is your ruler, so you could be facing a lot of fears about you and either your body, how you feel about your work. If there are power struggles, how much of those power struggles are self-imposed and how much of them are things that need to change in the outside world. And if you can change how you go about your day and your health and your routines and your habits, could those change some of the challenges that you're facing with fears related to Pluto? Even though some of this 6th house energy could have brought up challenging or intense situations, ultimately Pluto is about releasing and letting go and transforming, and the wonderful opportunity for a Pluto transformation feels so good afterwards. A Virgo is also at their best when you are living out the most optimal manifestations of Virgo and Mercury qualities. So when you are organized and efficient and clean and healthy, you more than other signs, you are going to just vibrate at a different frequency. You're just going to enjoy life that much more. You will be able to achieve the things that you want to achieve, and you will probably find time for rest too. You'll find more time for other people and connections, because that is another piece of the story right now with the North Node, Neptune, Venus, and Saturn all in your house of partnerships. I don't think there is a Virgo out there that isn't thinking about significant relationships in some way. And this is a bigger fated journey for the next year and a half. So whether it's on your mind right now or not, people are going to be coming into your life that are going to have an impact on your destiny and what you want to carry out in the world as far as other people at a soul level. Some of these things you might not fully realize, and maybe they're pipe dreams, being in Pisces, that are going to come to realization as we get into Pisces season and the eclipses. But for now, there's probably been a challenging moment with Venus topics as it connected with Saturn leading up to this moon. And now as it moves into a more fancy energy with Neptune and your North Node, if your partnerships have been feeling restricted or challenging, other opportunities are on their way, and they might be coming in around the time of this new moon. If not now, March will bring you plenty of opportunities to apply what you've been learning and move forward with partnerships in a different way. Jupiter trining this moon is happening in your 10th house. So for a lot of Virgos, I think that this could be career partnerships. This could be significant people that help you along your career path, your public image, your visibility. And it is definitely reputation and your image in career, your status in career, that it looks like it's, with this positive energy to your 6th house, is the motivation for you to change your routine and do things differently. Maybe Jupiter has brought you into a brand new position in life and career where you have more responsibility, or your status is in a different position, and you need to change how you do things. And this is not happening in a challenging way at this time. This is happening as assistance. You're feeling good about the changes that you are making with this Jupiter energy from your public image. So something's going really well with your reputation right now, and that is adding the right kind of fuel to this fire. You also have the opportunity here, Virgo, to do something really different. This is an opportunity for you to think outside the box with work and do something that maybe nobody's thought of. This is really going to help your career and your health in some way. So if it's not related to career, it could be health and routine in other ways. And yeah, Virgo, you are the master of organization and all these 6th house topics. So I'm not surprised that this energy looks like you're coming up with something innovative when it comes to managing all of those things. And Aquarius can be a nervous energy. Aquarius can feel restless if it's not expressing its unique authenticity in a way that feels freeing. So some of the health things could be connected to managing anxiety and stress, and that balance between feeling free and getting our things done in life that we need to do. That balance between being who we truly are and getting things done for work or an organization. If you are working with others and getting what you need as far as freedom and authenticity, that's going to create a really nice combination for whatever it is that you have going on out there. Let me know how this is playing out for you, Virgo. Would love to hear some of these details in the comments below. Thank you so much for being here. And if you liked this new moon reading, you can get a PDF for your sign for all of 2025 that has a mini new moon and full moon reading to give you a sense of how to plan your year ahead, and talks about the Mercury cycles each month and how to use Mercury to your advantage. Thanks again. I'll see you next time. Hi, Libra. This is a 5th house new moon for you. So this is all about fun, creative projects, creative self-expression, authentic expression. This is about you being aligned with what matters to you most and what makes you feel more like you, and therefore you're going to be having a lot more fun. You could first have to face some fears or feelings of restriction when it comes to expressing yourself, and this could be going on with work for you, with your daily routine, with health matters, because all of this activity with Saturn, Venus, Neptune, and the North Node is happening in your 6th house. There's a lot of energy that could have to do with relationships and money and what you get done on a daily basis, which is the 6th house, that are influencing your fun. So maybe you're getting frustrated with work stuff in general, with feeling, because the 6th house used to be the house of slavery, but we can still feel that energy. We can still feel like we're a slave to our life, like we're a slave to other people, to relationships, to work. But this moon is going to be finding brand new ways to do both. You're going to be able to feel more joy and fun within you because you're aligned with what feels right for you, and have some energy left over to get things done and be in that Saturn role in your 6th house, where you're applying discipline to maybe something that feels hard to create structure around because it's Pisces. Some of you Libras could be in film or camera work of some kind, where your daily work is about Piscean topics, so it could also be that you use your intuition in some way in your work, or you work with oceans. However this is showing up, this can be a tough role to be disciplined in a Pisces area of our chart. When it comes to film and camera work or photography, there needs to be creative flow in that. There needs to be some freedom to just put your own creative flair into things. And if you are working in an area that is too restricted, then there's no room to really create beautiful art. It's when you're aligned with what is unique to your soul that art and photography and other more Piscean topics are at their best. Jupiter in your 9th house is helping you with foreign places, foreign concepts, foreign people, getting a higher perspective on life, and maybe some type of education that is giving you this space to feel more unique and free, to have fun and be your creative, authentic self. In this alignment, this coming into a place where you can feel like you can be more you, that you actually can help more people, that you can connect to the masses energetically in some way. Shortly after this new moon, Uranus and the moon are connecting, activating your 8th house. This is a faster moving transit, so I'm not talking about it in every video, but there could be some unexpected issues with support from other people, maybe exploring your subconscious, maybe healing and sudden reversals and transformation of your psyche. Maybe this is part of what you release that helps you feel more free, or at least that you are getting a different perspective on, and you can implement fun and creativity in a new way. The 5th house also rules children. So if you have children, or you are expecting a child, or you are wanting to get pregnant, the Uranus in your 8th house is unexpected pregnancy energy. And because it's in a square to this moon, that could be what is happening for a small few of you. But this can show up in lots of different ways, and children are one manifestation, It could be the children you already have, but our creative projects are also our children and expressions of ourselves, just like children can be. If you have children, this could be a new start in their lives. This could be something that you are doing different as a parent and implementing differently with this new moon, or you're starting to have some new ideas about what works and what doesn't with your children and their freedom and your freedom, but also figuring out how good and strategic, sometimes disciplined parenting comes into that. And maybe you're taking a new parenting course, and that is part of this Jupiter expansion that's expanding your mind and bringing foreign concepts into action that are helping you create this fresh start with your children. Education and higher perspectives are a part of this journey. It is that is giving you the really lovely and right kind of fuel to get to enjoy life more, to have more fun, to have more play. This is a wonderful time to take up new hobbies and just get creative in anything that is not work. That might take away some of the burden of the more long focus you've had with Saturn in your 6th house, with Pisces, where there has been some really hard work for everyone in this part of our lives, where we're muddying through things that are unclear, and it's taking a lot of work to bring clarity and see through illusion and get things done in a sign that wants rest. Pisces is the rest away from society. So the ingredient for you is the 5th house, where you are about to find ways to enjoy more play. I want to hear how this one's going for you. Let me know in the comments below how play might be showing up in your life, Libra. Thank you so much for being here, liking, subscribing, chatting with me in the comments. If you liked this new moon reading and you would like to see a PDF for your sign for the whole year ahead, check out the link in the description below for my 2025 planners, and I will see you next time. Hi, Scorpio. This is a 4th house new moon for you. So this is all about brand new beginnings with home, your inner worlds, your family. This is the part of life that not everybody gets to see. This is the deep inside of yourself. And this could be a brand new beginning, planting the seeds, building momentum to creating change with the way that you were raised, the way that you were brought up. Pluto is in for a long stay here, and this is the energy of deep transformation. This is not a small thing. This is a really big, sometimes it's going to be painful transformation of who you are compared to who your family is, how your lineage has operated up until now. You are about to change in the next 20 years in ways that are going to completely change you and transform you from the inside out. This is a time where you might start to see things that you want to change, and you might start to get clues about some of the things that you do automatically, because that's how it is with what's passed down to us from our families. These are automatic. We don't even think about them. So sometimes they could be connected to the 12th house, where it is a bit of our blind spot because we are just so familiar with the way that we grew up, the way that our families are. So now you're starting to put some things together and maybe plant some intentions for what you want to change. It could be the weeks leading up to this new moon that created some events that put the pressure on and made you see things that you are now going to start to put into action or get the ball rolling on in these 4th house family home topics. And for some of you, this could mean actual changes with your home. There could be something you're doing that is brand new and that is very revolutionary when it comes to Aquarius in your 4th house. Same goes for the family dynamics. This is an opportunity to really do something that has never been done before. And maybe you're part of a group that is working in family transformation that is applying new and radical ideas. Jupiter in your 8th house is very much the same story of this Pluto in your 4th house transformation. Jupiter in your 8th house is the house of Scorpio. It is also the house of Pluto, Pluto being your ruler. And this is about diving into your psyche, sudden reversals, transformations, healing. This could be other people's resources, debt, money. This is ways that significant people in your life, or specifically your partner, support you. This is a house where these psychological reversals and sudden healing of trauma could completely transform your family. Maybe in an instant, what you change inside yourself changes how you interact with your family and your family dynamics, either in the home that you're currently living in or the people that you were raised with. You still have a lot of activity in your 5th house. That is where you have Saturn, Venus, Neptune, and the North Node now, all in Pisces in your 5th house. This is about children, play, creative self-expression, hobbies, things that you do for fun. This could be a time where, alongside of all of this more heavier Plutonian, Aquarius, transformational energy, you are also having more fun now. And there's a balancing between these areas of your life. Mars is in a nice connection to your 5th house right now. Even though Mars is retrograde, that's still bringing some more motivation and energy to that 5th house. You could be teaching something creative. You could be publishing something creative. You might have to go back over things because Mars is retrograde. If you're going back over a publication, it is somehow adding to your ability to be authentic and creative and experience more joy. Uranus in your 7th house is activated the day after this new moon as the moon starts to move. And Uranus moon could mean that there's something, this is a square, so it's an energy of friction. It could be that your partner creates a bit of temporary emotional frustration, or someone significant in your life. This is very fleeting, very quick, but I figure it's worth mentioning because for you, Uranus is on the angles in your 7th house, so it's a bit more of a potent energy. Overall, there's so much lovely energy going on with this moon that I think you're really going to enjoy the healing component and the creative component, even if it feels like a bit of a squeeze leading up to that healing piece. It really is going to be a burst of change that is going to lead you to more fun. I hope you enjoy this one, Scorpio. Thank you so much for being here. If you liked this video, I have a PDF write-up for all of the new moons and full moons for 2025 and a monthly guide on how to use Mercury. I will leave the link to that in the description below. If you would like a one-on-one Zoom reading with me, that is also in the description. Thank you and have a wonderful, fresh start. I'll see you next time. Hi, Sag. This is a 3rd house new moon for you. So this is about communication, short distance travel, siblings, cousins, close relatives, neighbors. But ultimately, this is avenue of expression. This is how we express ourselves through media, through writing, through speech. This is our daily mind and how it works for us or how it doesn't. Leading up to this new moon, you might have felt some fears being activated. You might have felt power struggles when it comes to any of these topics. And your home and family part of your chart is also heavily activated. For a lot of you, this could be easily actual home-related issues, issues with neighbors, needing to really figure out what it is that brings pleasure and value to the home. Now, this is where Venus is and sandwiched between Neptune and Saturn, as well as the North Node. This is a packed activation for Venus as it moves more quickly through this part of the chart than Saturn and Neptune that have been there for a while, and the North Node is here to stay for a year and a half or so. Venus's swift action through the 4th house for you is going to highlight where is the love, where is the beauty, where is maybe the romance, maybe the pleasure. Home should be both a place of protection and rest, but also pleasure and sometimes romance. This is wonderful energy to beautify your home, do some updates. Venus has almost done its transit through here though, so you might have been in the mood to beautify leading up to this. Maybe that's what's creating some conflict with neighbors and what is a fresh start with this new moon. The details are going to be different for everyone and different for everyone's personal chart, but keep in mind the communication at this time. This is where Jupiter is giving you blessings and amplifying this focus, that whatever the actual daily things are that are showing up, the point is to improve communication. The point is to improve how your mind works for you, or maybe how it doesn't. Looking at those things and figuring out new, innovative, radically different ways to move forward, where you feel more like yourself. You feel more like you have the freedom of speech to be you, to say what you want to say, and somehow get along with other people better in the process. Maybe even help other people in the process. And this could be coming from a significant partner in your life. This is Jupiter in your 7th house, which is bringing blessings to your partnerships, the significant people in your life. This could be work contracts as well. Maybe you are in media or writing and you are getting a new partnership for that work that you do. That could be one of the ways that it plays out. Maybe that means more short distance trips for a partnership that has a bit more of a drive to get to. Keep in mind what really matters to you when it comes to home and pleasure and the comforts of all of that. There might be some illusion that you have had to work through, and you are now that Venus has activated Saturn, you're in a slow and disciplined progress forward, and that is ultimately going to bring you more beauty and more pleasure in the home front and better connections with your family. That is also what this is about. This is your family members, the people that live with you and the people that you grew up with and that raised you. Because Venus is the ruler of your 6th house and your 11th house, there could be some overlay about those houses when it comes to home. So that is routine, health, work, service to others, and friends and allies and networks and people that support you. This could be the energy of working from home and needing to balance daydreaming and creativity and actual discipline and hard work. Ultimately, this new moon is about communication. So whatever's going on at home, I think there's going to be a flavor of having the right things to say, getting the right media out there if it's work related, writing projects, having the right conversations with people close to you are really going to go a long way right now. So take some time to think about that and think about how your own mind processes information, taking it in and getting it out. And there might be some efficiency to work on there, and then you can reach more people and be more effective that way. Yeah, and you might be coming up with something completely brand new and revolutionary when it comes to communication and the avenue of expression and how that manifests out in the world. Thank you so much for being here, Sag. If you liked this video, I have 2025 planners that are new moon and full moon mini readings in PDF form for all of 2025. They are $29.95 Canadian. I'm going to link those in the description below. And as always, an opportunity to have as one-on-one Zoom reading with me. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and chatting with me in the comments. I love it so much. And I will see you next time. Hi, Capricorn. This is the 2nd house new moon for you. So this is all about reassessing what you value and making new plans and planting new seeds for your self-worth, your actual assets, your possessions, the way that you manage your energy, and the foods that you eat, the way that you nourish your body. Leading up to this full moon, you might have felt some constriction around these things where something reached a critical point and you have noticed that a pattern has to go, a belief system or a value needs to go, or just a way of managing your body and managing your energy is about to change. This could be something related to the nervous system, since it is Pluto in Aquarius and Aquarius energy with this new moon, and that rules the currents in our body. So that also rules the blood flow and circulation, because it is a current that activates that heart pumping and gets things flowing through the body. I like to look at Aquarius energy as energy flowing, and that is the internet as well, what connects us to other people. In our body, there are these things like nerves and blood flow that connect all parts of the system. And financially too, energetically, food-wise, there is an energetic connection when we invest money and it grows, or we eat something nourishing and it expands through all of our cells and creates healthy mitochondria and healthy cellular vibration and health and energy that way. So there's this current effect that I want to emphasize with this new moon, and it's this energy that you are going to be motivated to change. Whatever currents and flow are going in and coming back out, this is a new beginning for that. Your third house also has a lot of activity. This is where Saturn, Venus, Neptune, and the North Node are all hanging out. That means that third house topics like communication, short distance travel, siblings, writing, media, I like to call this the avenue of expression. And that starts with our mental thoughts and patterns and how we use those in a functional way. So opposite from the third house, we have the ninth house, and that is about the big picture stuff. But the third house is the brain and its daily executions of functioning. I think that these second house topics and third house topics go quite well together. This is talking about changing the frequency inside of you, changing your resources potentially, amplifying this energy that you have as a resource and the things that you value. And then how does that affect your mind? How does that affect the way that you communicate? Maybe you have a clearer mind because you're running a clearer energetic frequency through your system with new food, or just conserving energy. Now you have more to give when it comes to your expression in the world. Around the time of this new moon, there is a brief activation between the moon and Uranus in a square. It's a small piece of the story, but I'm not including it for a lot of the signs or in the main description because it's going to be something more fleeting than the rest of the energy. But it is still somewhat active, and this is coming from your fifth house. So this is about children, creative projects. There could be some unexpected surprises that shift your expression, and I think they're part of this second and third house stuff. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, so it is significant in that way that we're looking at how Uranus is doing in this mix. And Uranus brings us unexpected surprises. In this particular situation, it is one that creates more friction. It is through friction that we are going to step up and really, it's kind of a jarring energy where all of a sudden we just know what we need to do and how we need to do it because we don't want to feel uncomfortable like Uranus can sometimes do. Don't worry about any of that more unpredictable, challenging energy because Jupiter is also here giving a lovely trine that is going to soften everything and create healing just as quickly as the discomforts that have the potential to arise might. For you, Jupiter is your sixth house. So this is your routines, your health, your work. It looks like a lot of Capricorns out there are going to be refining what you value, refining how you manage your energy and your productivity in work as well. This is good New Year's energy. We're starting a new year fresh, and this looks like you more than other signs are going to be setting New Year's resolutions when it comes to resources and energy and your health and your routines, getting things done. Because you have Jupiter in your sixth house, this is an opportunity for healing all the way up until June. This has been here since last June, and you are on a 1-year healing journey and trajectory with Jupiter if you have had any physical ailments that have been bothering you. So there is a lot of healing to look forward to, Capricorn. It looks like it's happening at an energetic level, at a nervous system level, and on a physiological level. And then you're going to be really happy with the productivity that comes and follows afterwards. Most Capricorns will like that. Thank you so much for being here, liking, subscribing, letting me know how you're doing in the comments below. It is so much fun. If you liked this video and would like a PDF of all the new and full moons, all of 2025, as well as Mercury monthly recommendations, check out my 2025 PDF planners in the description below, and you can also find me there for one-on-one Zoom readings. I'll see you next time. Hi, Aquarius. Happy new moon to you. Happy birthday to all of the Aquarians out there. This is your new beginning. This is a true start to the new year for you, where you get to plant seeds and get ready for some of the big transformations that are happening this year. You have Pluto in your sign for the entire year. This is your first year of a 19-year journey. It's 20 in total, but you had a taste of it last year, and this is transforming you. This is going to purge any psychological pain and limitations, really, that are holding you back. This new moon is an opportunity to create a fresh start in any part of your life that you want to, because this is in your sign, but really about who you are as a person and what you bring to this world. Sometimes it's your reputation and how you are seen, how you are perceived by other people. This is also your body. So I think there's going to be a lot of emphasis on this for a lot of Aquarians out there, because your second house is also stacked. So this can have to do with money, assets, self-worth, but the foods that you eat and the way that you nourish your body, the energy that you take in, and the energy that you give or don't give to other people. It is those limits of how much you can serve for yourself versus how much you give. And there needs to be a healthy flow there. It is the law of abundance. Energy in, energy out. Same with food and our relationships with other people. There needs to be this positive and healthy cyclical flow, and that is what allows us to stay connected and give to others and receive. Maybe sometimes that means breaks and isolation and time to recoup. But in this context, this is going to be about how you show up with other people. And that is part of the first house too. The first house does mostly define who we are as individuals, but it also is a balance between self and other. And it is how others perceive us. So it is how we operate in the physical world, and that includes our body too. The second house is where you have Saturn, Venus, Neptune sandwich, and the North Node. Venus and Neptune and the North Node are technically conjunct at this time, and this is where you could be in a more fantasy, idealistic mind frame. Money could be going really well. Maybe you just made some new strategy and discipline with Saturn conjunct Venus, and you could have felt some restriction with finances and abundance and romance and relationships and the energy exchange with all of those topics. But it could have also given you an idea to revolutionize how you operate in that part of your life. This will ultimately benefit relationships and money. And so now you're moving into this more idealistic energy where it is going to be what fuels you in the North Node when Venus soon actually conjuncts with that too. And the North Node is about your fated direction and where you're going in this life. And with a new conjunction with Venus, this is going to be with Venus related topics like money, beauty, your self worth, relationships. These are second house topics. Jupiter is in your fifth house, and this is bringing expansion to your creativity. This is a very fertile energy, so this could be pregnancy related for a small few of you. This could just be the children you already have or your creative projects. This could be your hobbies, your ability to have fun and express yourself in authentic ways. Aquarius is already an energy of authenticity and freedom and being unique and expression in a way that can sometimes either separate you from society or connect you even more. But this is definitely a heightened creative and self-expression transit with this Jupiter fifth house in lovely communication with the moon. It could be that a creative project is bringing money in for some of you, and this could, with the Venus sandwich between Saturn and Neptune, this could be money for your creativity, especially if you are in film or photography, and that is lasting a really long time, that is creating a stable energy moving forward. Something unexpected from home and family could come into the mix. This is where Uranus is not at the chart of this new moon, not super impactful, but it does connect to the moon so shortly after that it's a bit of a gray area. So it could be an unexpected challenge, friction, comes from family, comes from mother, and that is part of reframing who you are. Just part of re-identifying your authentic nature and feeling free to be yourself. It is home-related stuff that often is the root of where we have the most restriction of freedom of expression and being who we really are, because those were the people that were in charge of making sure that we were beings that could fit into society. And that was the biggest goal. It was an idea that life was going to be easier if you blended in, if you merged with the societal expectations. But we're in a time now where that is starting to change. And maybe it starts with the Aquarians in the world. Maybe it starts with a new moon like this when Pluto is in a brand new journey in your chart and you're about to really break out of any boxes that you've been placed in by other people. And you're going to learn about a whole new part of yourself that you, at this point, probably don't even know exists. So it's a really exciting change, and it is a very exciting change for the world, because when the people who are the most unique and humanitarian focused like Aquarians are, these are the people that are bringing innovation and pushing the boundaries of what is normal and what has been done in the past and are not afraid to do it. When we have transits like this that activate those individuals, and the whole world is going through an energetic shift in this area, well, I just think that this is exciting for the possibilities that could come about. I did a longer video about Pluto in Aquarius. I will link that in the description below. You can get a refresher on that or check it out if you haven't seen it. And that'll give you more of a sense of this Pluto stuff if you're looking for more Pluto information. And I personally love Pluto. I have gone through a Pluto square or conjunction to all of the planets in my birth chart officially. And it has been a tough journey, but it is also taught me so much and helped me change so much, and really helped me transform into the type of person that I visualized I would be one day. And we'll see, maybe even capable of more. That's my Jupiter coming out. But so Pluto stuff can bring some pain, can bring some tumultuous waves to work through. It was Astrology that I was listening to, that I've watched a lot of her videos about Pluto, and it helped me a lot through my personal journey. And she's also an astrologer that has been through a lot of Pluto, and it's the planet that doesn't allow you any choice to change or not to change. It will create the conditions that absolutely make sure that you do in whatever part of your life that this is activating. So that was a bit of an intense message to end with, Aquarius, but as intense as it is, it has so much power and personal power and beautiful things that can be created. And it's this transit, Aquarius, that you're in a big role. You have a lot that probably that you want to do and that you see yourself doing, and I hope that it's filled with lots of excitement for what's possible. Thank you so much for being here and listening and subscribing. And if you liked this video and would like to have a PDF version of all of the new moons and full moons coming up for the year ahead, I will link that in the description below, and also for my one-on-one Zoom readings as well. I'll see you next time. Hi, Pisces. This is the 12th house new moon for you, and all of this Aquarius energy with Pluto in this part of your chart and life for the next 19 years. This energy has a lot to do with the unseen realms, overseas places, faraway lands, rest, retreat spaces, hospitals, prisons. These are areas of life that are removed from daily functioning. They are removed from the daily service and health and life responsibilities that we all have in this earthly realm. There will always be balancing to do on these topics with 6th and 12th house. Some of you, though, might have complete transformations when it comes to how much rest and retreat you actually get. When it comes to unseen realms, I do foresee some of this being about psychic activity and really sorting through deeper layers of that, purging things that are limiting you from expanding more into that realm. But with the 6th house, it means at the same time being grounded in this world. So there's going to be that combination. I think of the tree, the deeper the roots go, the higher and more expansive the branches can be. That is this 6th and 12th house energy for a lot of Pisces out there. And right now, with your 1st house continuing to be activated, I've been talking about this all along the way, but Saturn in your 1st house has been a long journey of adding more structure. This is an earth energy that can be very grounding, slowing you down, making you focus on more of those earthly responsibilities in some way when it comes to the practicalities of your body, your health, the tools that you have in this world, the energy that you conserve for yourself and versus what you give to another on that 1st and 7th house axis. Venus is in your sign. You have had this energy for a couple of weeks. You're going to have it for about a week after this new moon. And beyond that, Venus makes a beautiful conjunction with Neptune and the North Node shortly after this new moon. This is on the 27th degree, where Venus is said to be even more exalted than she already is in Pisces. So this is wonderful luck for money and love and appearance and health, and generally a very feel-good time for a lot of Pisces out there. You can feel more creative. You can feel like your creations and the dreaminess that you have been putting into something maybe is finally paying off. You might just be seeing the world and yourself and relationships through a more beautiful lens, through really some dreams coming true when it comes to Venusian topics of money and beauty and love and art. Jupiter is hanging out in your fourth house, and this is another beautiful energy that is in trine communication with the sun and moon. This is going to amplify the 12th house topics, but in a very lovely way at the moment. So even though Pluto going through your 12th house, it could bring some fears around disconnection. It could bring battles with challenging energies in the unseen realm. It could bring secrets forward that you have to deal with that show you some of the more challenging things of Pluto energy. For a lot of people, this is going to be overseas topics, and Jupiter is about expanding the mind. It's about being curious about what is foreign and different. Pluto also rules your ninth house, which is the classic position for Jupiter, Sagittarius. So you have this ninth house, 12th house, first house amplification happening. Regardless of how the details show up in your life, this is going to be a time when expanding your consciousness, expanding your mind in the ideas that relate to the physical realm, as well as the energetic. That is what the bigger picture process is about here. No matter what shows up in your physical life, think of any of those situations. How do they apply to how you connect with energy, how you manage your own energy and creativity, how you manage your time away from the world? How does that apply to expanding your mind and taking in foreign ideas and concepts? Maybe it's time to be a teacher. Maybe there is some of that energy going on, and there are connections to home. So this could be living in foreign places for some of you. You could be moving overseas, and you could be, again, there are so many options, so I won't list them all, but essentially home, your inner world. What has been passed down to you through your family, the family that lives in your home and the family where you came from. With energy like this, maybe some of you come from a long line of psychic people in this world, and this is something that's been passed down to you and is bursting forward right now. And you might be seeing some of that connection to your ancestry and your family of origin, especially your mother's side of the family. Mercury is also in your 12th house. Mercury here means that you could be, again, communicating with people overseas, communicating with energy in unseen realms in ways that you don't normally, or just that activity is heightened. If you are somebody who has clairaudience, that might be going on more right now. Mercury here could mean that communication that was hidden is still hidden, maybe coming forward at the full moon. Maybe something comes out right now, but there could be secrets or just behind the scenes energy unfolding that is going to have a big importance in some of these 12th house topics at some point, or home, or who you are as an individual. There's a lot of concentration in houses that are important in your chart and really essentially about you, because the 12th house is the classic position for Pisces, and you have all this energy in your first sign of Pisces and home, which is the inner world, and comes down to the things that are deep within that you don't necessarily show everybody, which is also 12th house stuff. You are going through some big brand new beginning with you and who you are as a person and how you connect to the world. Even though this is not technically the new moon in Pisces, this is a big brand new start for you. And we are about to start Pisces season, which includes a year and a half of eclipses on your axis and partnership of Virgo for you. I cannot emphasize enough how big of a change is coming for a lot of Pisces out there, and you are starting to feel that energy right now on Tuesday, January 21st, when Pluto and the Sun conjoined, on the 29th, when we have this new moon, and then March onward, there is a concession of activity that is going to be pretty special. So I look forward to chatting with you about it every step of the way. Thank you so much for being here and watching, liking, subscribing, chatting with me in the comments below. It is so much fun. And if you would like to look ahead at this huge year that you have, I have 2025 planners, which are new moon and full moon readings for your sign for the whole year, as well as Mercury energy month by month, which just gives you a good sense of how to focus each month of the year. I will link that in the description below, as well as the link to book readings with me. Have a wonderful journey, Pisces, and I will see you next time. Hi, Aries. This is an 11th house new moon for you, and this is a big activation of a brand new journey with friends, networks, allies, community, the people that are around you and support you. These are groups and organizations that you are a part of. This could be the internet. The 11th house is a ruler of markets and marketplaces. So selling things and our business networks are also included in the 11th house. With this Pluto activation, you are about to go through a huge transformation of purging and releasing what you have done in the past with networks and building something completely new. If you have any fears or control dynamics to balance out when it comes to these networks, this is a time when they're going to show up, and they are, whatever you have going on right now with networks and community and audience, that is getting a big transformation, as they say. But I think transformation is starting to get a little cliche for Pluto, so I'm trying to come up with better terms, but maybe that is just the best expression for it. Mercury's here too, so you are going to be feeling extra chatty with networks. This is a great time to launch communication and media material if you have online people that you're networking with, or just networking in general. There is also a lot of 12th house activity for you. This is where you have Saturn, Venus, Neptune, and the North Node all about to conjoin or going through activations with each other. That is a time when your separation from the rest of the world and the things that you do that are dissociative or connected with unseen realms, your rest and time away. This is a Pisces house, so dissociations can be being in a creative storm or lost in your fantasies and creative world. It can also be dissociation that comes with substance use. It can rule overseas places and the vastness of the ocean and the way that it dissipates. And Pisces is a water sign, and there is this watery, dissipating quality to it. That is why it is connected with rest. It is this dissolving and dissipation of energy, and in this case represented by water. Also, hospitals and prisons, places that are away from society. So there are a lot of different things covered in the 12th house, and what I like to refer to it as that which is not connected to reality necessarily. Maybe that which is not connected to our reality on Earth, because there is a different reality that exists in water, and that is what Pisces rules. The North Node here is of great importance, and that means that your emphasis of the journey that you're on for the next year and a half, there's going to be a lot of fated experience in this part of your chart. I talk a lot more about that in my North Node and Pisces video. I will link that in the description below, and you can watch that next if you want more information on this part of your journey. But for now, what I'll say is that you are restructuring what is pleasurable when it comes to dissociation, what is pleasurable when it comes to rest and faraway places. And because of the timing of this moon, there is likely some connection with your friends and networks. Overseas networks could be a possibility. Maybe there's also a big emphasis on intuition and creativity. That is another thing that is highly 12th house. You could be tapping into intuition and networks differently in that way. Could be spending a lot more time on your creative projects. Jupiter is in this mix from your 3rd house. Jupiter expands whatever it touches. So this is a time where communication is heightened. And with these 3 houses lit up, I think for a lot of Aries out there, this looks like online networks, connecting with people overseas, lots of writing and media. This could be short distance travel in the 3rd house, so you might have more short distance trips to see friends and networks. You might get a new vehicle with Jupiter in your 3rd house, and that can open up some opportunities to do more things with networks and communities, and visit different people when it comes to friends. Overall, this new moon and the week leading up to it is a big activation for these networks. And that is a lovely place to have this activation. You're likely going to have transformations with the people that you're connected to in this world that really support the direction that you are going in. We have one more eclipse in your sign, Aries, in March, and that's the last one of the series. So you have gone through fated change of who you are as an individual, and it really is fitting to see that now this focus is going to be on making sure that your connections fit the new you. And after eclipses on your 1st and 7th axis of self and other, you've really grounded a solid place in your life to expand from and to go into more unseen realms and intuitive work, if that's what you feel called to. Thank you so much for being here, Aries. It is so much fun to chat with you here in the comments. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and the notification bell if you want to make sure you see when I release videos like this. Have a wonderful new moon, and I will see you next time. Hi, Taurus. This is a 10th house new moon for you, and this is a big journey when it comes to your reputation, your status, your career, your public visibility, and who you are in this world. Who you are according to how you are seen in your public and professional image. Pluto and Mercury and the Sun have just gone through activation points, and now this new moon, you are starting to feel this Aquarian energy in your public image. This has a lot to do with humanitarian work. This has to do with focusing on what is best for the greater good and how you are involved in that. This is also energy of being as uniquely you as possible. It is that your image of being fun and uplifted and unique and going to the beat of your own drum, this is something that is going to be called for transformation with Pluto. The point of this transformation with Pluto is an optimization of Aquarius energy. And when I think of all the lovely qualities that Aquarius brings, it is this innovation and newness. And the reason that Aquarius can be so innovative and new is that it takes the past and keeps what is working best as a strong foundation, but it is not afraid to think outside the box and do something radically different that goes against what everybody else is saying the way that things should be. Taurus is typically very different than an Aquarius energy. Taurus is more simplistic and prioritizes security more than these energies of being very radically different. In some form, in some way in your life, this is the energy that you do show the public world. Humanitarian causes can be a big part of that. Because you have had Uranus in your sign for quite some time, this has been preparing you for what's going on in your 10th house. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, and this more erratic, energetic energy that some Taurians may have been feeling, this is part of the transformation that is now bringing a different quality to your public image. And this is what is being activated right now. This is what is being primed to change and shift over the next 19 years. Pay attention to whatever is unfolding with your public image right now. And there is a strong connection to your 11th house. This is where you have the big train of Saturn, Venus, Neptune, and the North Node. These two houses are going to bring community and networks that match your career goals or your public image, or something that you are stepping into that is radical and different. So you have the support here. And it's fated because of the North Node's presence in your 11th house. That means that this fated energy is just going to unfold. Saturn here in your 11th house means that you will need to still do a lot of work and keep your eyes open for deceit and things that just don't function in the practical world, because we're talking about Pisces energy with this part of your chart right now. And Pisces can be the best at creativity and building a fantasy world for your friends and networks. But Saturn is here to ask you if it's practical and to give you a bit of a reality check of what fantasy is with networks and communicate and community, and what really can stand the test of time. Because you have been already doing this work for quite some time, the North Node now starting to take more action in March is going to bring these fated experiences that help you transform both friends and career and public image. Jupiter is in your second house. This is a wonderful time for money and abundance. Your self-worth as well is the second house, and the beautiful trine energy between Jupiter and the moon in your 10th house is a feedback loop of both building your material assets and worth and possessions potentially, but feeding your self-worth and knowing that you have a role in this world and in your community that matters. That is the Aquarius energy, what really matters. That's something to keep in mind as you are building these changes and building a new public life for yourself. Jupiter will go direct in February, and that's when you're going to notice even more of the abundance and self-worth energy kick in. If you're not feeling it right at this new moon, know that it's coming as Jupiter stations and builds momentum. We have such a lovely energy coming at us from January 21st, when Pluto conjuncts the Sun, through this new moon, and then into the beginning of February. It has been heavier since we were in Capricorn season for the past month. So you're going to start to feel some more optimism and really a sense of potential start to open up this month. Thank you so much for being here, Taurus. Thank you for watching, liking, subscribing, hitting the notification bell if you would like to see when these videos are released, and especially the comments below. I love chatting with you there. If you would like to see the year ahead, my 2025 planners are a mini new moon and full moon reading, as well as monthly guidance for Mercury for the whole year. I will link the purchase link for that in the description below, as well as booking Zoom readings with me. Have a wonderful start to this year and start to your Aquarius journey. I will see you next time. Hi, Gemini. This is a 9th house new moon for you. So this is a brand new beginning and much, much bigger activation of all 9th house activities, which are higher learning, higher wisdom. It is this knowledge that we acquire from foreign people, foreign places. This can rule academia and publishing. This can also rule astrology. This is the house where you also get a lot of spiritual teachers in different forms. They can come in any form, really. You might be on a more spiritual quest over the next 19 years as Pluto journeys through this part of your chart. I love this for Geminis because Gemini is a sign that loves to gather information, loves to be curious, and they have the best questions at parties. They're able to really connect and listen because they genuinely care about receiving this information. And Geminis have an ability to log it all and stay open-minded, but create an opinion that is based on a lot of information. These make great researchers and interviewers. So with a ninth house activation like this, I can see a lot of Geminis really going for it with being a teacher, which you are so well equipped to be. You might just be thirsty for more knowledge, and this ninth house activation is going to bring that to you for the next 19 years. The thing with being thirsty for knowledge is that when you expand into seeing everything, it means that there's a shadow side to that. There's a dark side. There is maybe control when it comes to the spiritual realm and spiritual leadership. There can be dynamics that are unhealthy. And if you're going on a ninth house mission, you're going to go through all of it. This new moon is going to activate some of that, maybe with the energy of the Sun conjunct Pluto the week before. But this is more, you're going to start to see your path. You're going to start to see what it is that you're doing with this ninth house journey. And you're getting a taste of what's lighting you up when it comes to gaining more knowledge. This is the house of spiritual quests and pilgrimages. This is a house where you are dedicated to a journey and exploring something in some way. You also have a big 10th house activation. 10th house rules your public image, your career, your reputation. So this is where I can really see some of you getting into teaching or publishing, because the 9th house is publishing, if I didn't already mention that. So these together mean that whatever it is that you are learning, the knowledge you're seeking, whatever you're teaching, you're likely going to get a lot of attention for that right now. Your public image is going through some recalibration of what you value with Venus through here. Venus in Pisces and is exalted, and this means that right now you are on fire with how you're coming across to the rest of the world. This is a wonderful opportunity to get what you want when it comes to career and reputation. Put yourself out there if you are in the realm of media and anything else, public speaking, anything like that. You're going to have some fated experiences here as well for the next year and a half with the North Node. So there's this energy that's happening at the time of this new moon is not just the new moon, but this is fated forces that are working through your reputation. Shortly after this new moon, Venus and Neptune are conjoined at the 27th degree, which is where Venus is even more exalted. I see this being such an incredible opportunity for you in your public image. Whatever is happening right now, go for it. It's probably fated. It's probably feeling really good, and you'll know what that's all about. Neptune and Pisces represent creativity and psychic ability. It can also represent illusion and dissociation and dissolving. But with Venus's presence here, especially on the 27th degree, I really don't see this being the more negative qualities. And if they are, this conjunction with Venus happening shortly after the new moon can eradicate anything that has been feeling challenging in that part of your life. And of course, for you, you have Jupiter in your first house still, which is in lovely trine communication with this new moon. So even more, this is about a, a beautiful expansion of yourself when it comes to the ninth house matters, which again are the teaching and spiritual pilgrimage and seeking new information, maybe having new teachers. Maybe teachers are really coming in and they're expanding who you are and the tools that you have to offer. Geminis, I've been getting the sense that a lot of you are opening up intuition and psychic ability like you haven't before. This could be in creativity when it comes to whatever work you're involved in. I really love all of this energy for you, especially. There is a Mars square Chiron happening that I haven't been talking about, but since this is just such an optimistic chart for Geminis, there is a small challenge that could come in with your self-worth and your friends and your networks. It's probably something from the past with money or self-worth or your assets, and it's coming back for just it's a healing moment where any wounds that you have had in this life or past lives connected to networks and community and the support that you get from others, and feeling that if you don't get supported, that affects your self-worth or something like that. Maybe dealings with friends and money are part of this for some of you, but overall, that's one of the small aspects that might feel a bit uncomfortable. I think that you have so much positive energy in your reputation and the knowledge that you're expanding into, that this is something that is more likely to just have a small activation and immediately be dissolved by some of the other expanding energies that you have right now. This looks awesome for Geminis. Definitely let me know what's going on in the comments below, because this is going to be a really impactful time, whatever it is that's unfolding. I hope it's going really well for you. And thank you so much for being here, liking, subscribing, hitting the notification bell so that you see when these videos are uploaded, and commenting. My absolute favorite, to chat with people in the comments below. If you would like to see the year ahead in a new moon, full moon PDF, as well as Mercury focus for each month, I have 2025 planners on sale. They're PDF form. And the link for booking a Zoom reading with me will both be in the description below. Have a wonderful new moon activation, and I will see you next time. Hi, Cancer. This is an 8th house new moon for you, and a huge activation of a much bigger story. But for now, see what's going on in your life when it comes to psychological transformation, doing some shadow work, really examining some psychological changes for yourself, other people's resources, intimacy, support from other people, taxes, payouts. This is death and birth and rebirth. Essentially a house of big transformation. I like to talk about it a lot as far as intimacy, because I think that intimacy with another person has a lot to do with the shadow work that we do, the psychological transformational healing that happens when we deepen a bond with another person, the financial support. So it kind of envelops all of the topics. This could be transformation and intimacy with yourself and with significant other people to you in any capacity. It doesn't have to be partnership. But I think of it as going into the depth of connection and yourself. Because Jupiter is in lovely communication with this moon from your 12th house, I think this is going to be energetic work for a lot of you. This is going to be psychic attunement, connection to unseen realms. This is opening up to things that were in your blind spot, things that you did not see before, which is what shadow work and psychological transformation can often do. There is an element of purging and releasing here, and that is what creates the transformation. Sometimes this purging and releasing process is painful. That's why death and birth are also covered in the 8th house, because those are painful parts of transition that we that we talk about in this human experience. They're the more tangible forms of direct death and birth and transformation into a different life. But that happens in energetic ways to us throughout our whole lifetimes. We go through many deaths. Pluto here can be that experience for some people. Pluto can feel like coming back from the dead. Pluto can give a whole new appreciation for things that were just ordinary and you had taken for granted, not taken for granted necessarily, but that you just got used to and didn't see as so special. And when Pluto rolls through this part of your chart, it can take things away or add things that make us revalue what we have. And the eighth house is across from the second house, which is what we value. So depending on your personal placements in your chart, this could show up a lot as redirecting what you value. But either way, this is a big transformation of self, and it's starting now. It is also very connected to the ninth house for you, which is foreign places, foreign people, spiritual pilgrimage. It is seeking knowledge from things that are foreign to us, including people and traveling to foreign places. Because you have ninth house and 12th house activation with Pisces and Jupiter in Gemini, I could see a lot of Cancers out there going on trips and traveling to foreign places, being part of this transformational story. But the way that things unfold in the practical life, those are clues and indicators of the part of your chart that's being activated, and a moment to reflect on some of the deeper energetic tones that those physical activities or things represent. So with birth and death, for example, in the eighth house, if those are things that are going on in your physical world, then the energetic expansion of that physical thing is to consider your values, to consider how deep are your bonds, to consider how authentic are you being in this life, how much are some of your subconscious or shadow patterns playing a factor in not being able to truly be you when it comes to how you interact with other people. Mars in Cancer, I always get this image of there was a story in the Bible where the seas parted and you see this storm of waves, but that's being held apart to like a channel that you can walk through, two walls of water, stormy on each side. That's what a lot of Cancers might feel like they're going through right now. You're walking down that path where the waters have been separated and they're being held up by an invisible wall. So you're seeing what's underneath and you're walking through to get somewhere else. But it's really an upheaval energy of this water that is sometimes more flat and calm, like glass, I say sometimes. If you are having dreams about water, pay attention to that. Is the water clear? Is it flat? Is it murky? Is it stormy? What does the water represent in those dreams? And you can look it up online and see some of the layers of your psyche that are opening up right now. Because for Cancers, this is about your psyche, this is about your spirituality, this is about intuition and unseen realms. You're getting really curious about what is beyond our physical experience, likely for a lot of you. And in some of the more practical examples, maybe that means that you are teaching. Maybe that means that teaching and publishing is starting to uncover some of the more transformational energies in you. And the overseas piece, it could also with 12th house be anything that is away from your regular day-to-day life. So maybe more dream-like meditation time, maybe more time to dream and be creative, maybe more time in meditation is helping you tap into layers of energy and tap into layers of yourself that you haven't explored before, which is all going to help your relationships. And you have just finished Pluto in this part of your chart with partnerships. So you are ready for something deep, for something different. You're ready to embark on this journey, Cancer. And I'm excited to be there every step of the way and chat about the astrology piece, because it can really help with exploring the murkiness of what situations are showing up and what the energetic connection is. But it looks like you are learning to tap into all of that really well. And let me know how it's going in the comments below. I'd love to chat with you there. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell so that you get updates about when I release videos. It really means so much. And if you would like to get a peek ahead of 2025, I have PDFs of new moon, full moon for each sign, as well as Mercury for each month, how to work with those energies. I will link that and the link to my booking site. Thank you so much for being here, and have a wonderful new moon Aquarius journey. I will see you next time.